Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, November 22nd, 2019. Welcome to another eBay video. Today we're going to be discussing your comments, questions, and concerns about eBay, and we're also going to discuss how to get the most out of sending offers to watches on your eBay items. I have some information that I think you will find is helpful. So as we always do, we're going to start firstly with your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. Coincidentally, on offers to watches, Cordova79 wrote, "Hi Joe, as a buyer using the Apple mobile app, the offers to watches feature seems glitchy. I have received several offers from items I'm watching. On my phone, it shows up as a push notification and that's it. Later, if I open the app and go into the bids and offers section, it doesn't show up as available offer. I wonder if that's just part of the reason you've not had luck using this feature." You may be right, good sir, but I don't think that's entirely the problem. I think it's the nature of the beast. I think it's because I sell in eBay Motors, and that's why I don't have as much success as many other people do selling collectibles, toys, or clothes. Mildred Hanlon wrote, "I had to cancel a sale because the person was out of the USA and I don't offer international shipping. Will this hurt my seller status?" How do you have your account set up, Mildred? Do you have it set up that you do ship overseas, either with the global shipping program or on your own? Or have you excluded overseas buyers? That's very important. Because now if you've excluded overseas buyers, I don't understand how an overseas buyer could have snuck in. But if you haven't excluded them and somebody made a legit purchase, well then it's going to count as a defect for you because you canceled the sale. So you better go into your preferences section and check on that right now. SB wrote the following, "Anytime a buyer cancels the order, I make this process a bit pain in the butt for them by canceling the order 3 days later. It's my way of punishing them." Now SB, that idea would not work for me because I have to ship next day. I could never wait 3 days before canceling. Theoretically, I would have to accept it at the very latest the next day. Robert K. wrote an interesting comment on cancels as well. "When it comes to cancellations, some of you think the buyer is going to open a return request if you go ahead and ship it anyhow. Think about it. There's usually one reason why they ask to cancel, because eBay spams them with other items after the sale that are cheaper than yours. If you asked why, they probably wouldn't tell you. No one has ever opened a case against me for not canceling. eBay is trying to persuade you that you'll be giving excellent customer service. Good customer service is giving your sale to your competition? ? I understand where Robert K. is coming from, but in my opinion, it depends on the amount of the sale. If it's a cheap $20 item and $7 shipping, I honestly do not think you'll have a problem if you refuse to cancel and go ahead and send it. If it's a more expensive item and bulkier item like I sell, like in some of the examples I've been showing you over the last few weeks, let's say $70 plus $30 shipping, then I think you might well have a problem because the person does not want to spend that kind of money. That is my personal feeling. We also talked last week about customer service on eBay and how sometimes they give out wrong information. It really pained me to have to make that video, but guys, you know me, and you know me as Mr. Straight Talk. I will never lie, I will never sugarcoat anything, and although I'm a big eBay fan, you can always count on me for the truth. I don't flip the script like some people, and I don't backpedal. That being said, Roscoe Hamster wrote a rather long story about eBay customer service that he experienced. I'm going to share that with you right now. Roscoe Hamster wrote, I think that it's very interesting to hear you talking about bad information from eBay customer service. Here's my horror story. I sold a $525 ham radio to a guy in Maryland. After receiving the radio, he files an item not as described and damaged and requests a refund of $250 to keep the radio. In other words, he wants a partial refund. I rejected the refund and told him through messaging to return the item. The radio was in excellent condition and packed well. After a week of no response and after many attempts to contact the purchaser, I called eBay. eBay confirmed I sent return labels, and based on his good rating, I need to send a full refund, as I was told I would forfeit the sale and the money eBay would give a refund. Since this was my first return issue in 19 years, I reluctantly refunded $525 through PayPal. Now keep in mind, he's saying he refunded this money before he got the item back. Guess what? No return of the radio. No response from my request from the buyer. After more time, I called eBay several times. CSR representative Jamal said I would receive an email confirmation and a total PayPal refund. More bad information from eBay. The bottom line, eBay sided with the buyer even though eBay closed his account. I got totally screwed out of the refund. I called at least 6 times to eBay to discuss this and all the dialogue, and finally received a negative support email. This sucks and shame on eBay. I'm ready to tell eBay to stick it. I think everybody watching this video can take a lesson from the story that I told last week and Roscoe Hamster told this week. Listen to me, all right? You know, I don't come out here every week because I have nothing else to do with my time. There's plenty of other things I can be doing, all right? So listen to me when I'm talking. Don't ever give a buyer a refund until he sends the item back. I told you a case last week where an eBay customer service agent erroneously told me to do that. But Joey uses this thing up here. See this thing? This never shuts off. It runs 24 hours a day, and I wouldn't do it. And I'm glad. I would have lost a lot of money. Not as much as Roscoe Hamster. He lost $525 due to bad information. And you know, I feel sorry for you, Roscoe Hamster. The thing that really surprises me about your story is that you told me you have had one return in 19 years. That, my friend, is almost unbelievable in my opinion. That's so far out there that I find it hard to comprehend, where I get 3 per week. But anyway, the lesson to be learned here, guys, is never give a refund unless you don't want the item back. Wait till you get the item in your possession, then you can offer the refund. Listen to somebody who's got experience in refunds right here. You don't come any more experienced than me. I'll match my information with any CS rep any day of the week. I'm not bragging, I'm stating fact. You know I come out here and I'm here to give you guys straight talk. Protect yourself, all right? Think about it. If the information doesn't sound right, say to yourself, what would Joey do? And act accordingly. Also on the same topic, E. Dennis wrote, about the rep who told you to refund the buyer without getting the item back. Roscoe Hamster said above, the same thing happened to him. That's outrageous. I don't blame you for yelling. I would be livid and hold a grudge. Kilo 1212 wrote about a bad buyer. I'm so upset with eBay right now. Buyer's account has been red flagged by eBay. He was reported numerous times for abusing the return system. He opened a bogus return on my $400 item, a piece of jewelry, and eBay forced me to accept it. Despite all the facts, I just got the piece back and he replaced the stone in my jewelry. On top of everything, my research shows the buyer being a medical doctor with 4 clinics. eBay's answer, it's the cost of doing business. My whole week has been a constant struggle as well. I had an $1,800 order. I contacted the buyer to make sure that the eBay or PayPal account was not compromised. I offered free gift, etc. I have 2-day processing time, and on day 2, right after I dropped her order at the post office, she messaged me after that and said she can't afford the thing she bought and said to cancel the entire order. I'm waiting for the snag claim. Jesus, man. That is a bummer. This is an example of what I talked about last week with cancellations. All right? No buyer should ever be able to contact you 2 days later and say cancel the order. You may remember I had that happen to me last week with some steel wheels that I sold. And of course those wheels were already shipped, similar to the story here that Kilo 1212 just said. He had just dropped the items off at the post office when this person wanted to cancel. I honestly don't know why there is nothing in print that says a buyer has only so much time to request a cancellation. I'm beyond words here. Continuing on about cancellations, Skinny Cow wrote, update on my keystroke minimalist cancellation customer from last week. No return and haven't heard a thing. It's been about 12 days now, and Rubber Wilbur, I don't offer free returns. Skinny Cow, I'm 100% in your corner about not offering free returns. I said this not months ago, I said this years ago. I'm not going to do it. Think about all the legit returns I have where people are honest and say they made a mistake, because it does happen, I get that. I would be losing the shipping on every one of those items, 3 per week at least. I can't afford that. Free returns are not for everyone. And if you sell on eBay Motors, run away as fast as you can from free returns. Several people wrote in with comments about Amazon, which I found very important, and I'm going to read them to you. Luke Bowman wrote, hello, awesome video. Why haven't you written a book? You really should write one, and big thumbs down to Amazon. And what's wrong with Jeff? Like Trump says, Jeff Bozo allowing those t-shirts to sell on his site. He's referring to those nasty t-shirts I talked about last week that were vulgar and in some cases racist in nature. Mildred Hanlon wrote, my friend ordered from Amazon and it was delivered in the original Walmart box showing the Walmart price, which was lower than she paid. She won't use Amazon again. By the way, you're awesome. Another Amazon complaint, this one from Jennifer Marie. Not only do they sell a lot of junk, but the way they improperly ship the item and it comes damaged. This has happened to me as a buyer and a seller. My Amazon FBA returns come back to me in damaged condition that I cannot sell them again. The last Amazon comment is from Fashions of Mystery. The Amazon Prime semi-trucks are moving inventory from one warehouse to another. Meanwhile, that rig isn't moving those items and they're unavailable to be sold. Talking about the semi-truck that was broke down on the side of Route 80 that I talked about last week. You know, I gotta be honest with you guys. Now, I never was a fan of Amazon, okay? I'll admit that right up front. Putting my cards on the table out there. But lately, Amazon's been getting a crap load of negative press. I think they're going down. I do. I really do. A channel comment from Hugo Molina. This video is 100% great, 100% true, 100% awesome, and 100% Fitchy free. Thank you, Hugo Molina, for that comment. You're definitely on point. Of all the names I've been called in my life, nobody has ever called me Fitchy. And I sure hope nobody ever will. Okay. Let's get started now. I want to talk to you guys about offers to watchers again. I know we've been talking about this the last few weeks, but I finally got this fine-tuned with a little help from a friend, and I'm going to share that with you now. But first, I'm going to share with you a drink from the Fox News Cup O Life. Let me get it. This is the Fox News Cup O Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Oh my God. You know, I actually keep this Fox News Cup O Life on a mantle at home. It's a sacred place for a sacred cup. For those of you who sent offers to watches, you may notice when you're sending your offers to watches, there is a little default message that eBay puts in the box. It says something like, here's a chance to get this item at a great price. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it's a generic message. During my early days sending out offers to watches, I was using the eBay default generic message. And quite frankly, I don't think that's adequate. In one of the Facebook groups, we've been talking a lot about this, and Teresa actually came up with a very, very good message that she is sending to all her watches. She shared it in the Facebook groups and told the rest of us, of course, we were free to use her message. So for the last few weeks, I've been using her message, and I find that it does help. I'm going to read the message to you now, then I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. The message reads, and I quote, "Here's your chance to get this item at a 20% discount. Act quickly as this offer is being sent to all watches and the listing remains active and available for anyone to purchase." I use that message to all my offers to watches. What I do though is I take out the 20% and I change that to the word nice, because a lot of my offers are more than 20% off, while some are even less than 20% off. So the word nice basically covers it either way. Now, over the last, let's say 2 weeks, I must have sent out about at least 50 offers to watches. And quite frankly, I don't do that well in eBay Motors. I really don't. I'll tell you a couple of interesting things that did happen. I had this one item, I would consider it an overstocked dog item. It was originally $40 plus shipping. So I dropped the price to $25 plus shipping. I sent out offers to watches, and 2 people responded and made the purchase. I go through a lot of trouble to use eBay's compatibility feature in eBay Motors so people can see exactly what kind of car the item fits, the year, the make, and the model. And then in the description below, I even repeat it. For instance, in this one case, it fits a car with 14-inch wheels. I specifically say you must have 14-inch wheels. If you're not sure, look at your tire size and make sure it says R14 and not R15. So as I said, 2 people bought this item. One guy was from here in the United States. He gets the item and he writes to me, I want to return it. What I need is something for a 15-inch wheel. I said to him, you know, I gotta be honest with you. You're really, really bumming me out. I go through a lot of trouble to not only use the compatibility feature, but to say it fits only 14-inch wheels, not 15-inch. Could you please tell me how you misinterpreted that? And the guy wrote back to me and said, it's totally my fault. I didn't read the listing. It looked like it. And I said to him, it doesn't look like it. I said, it's nothing like what you really need. And let's just say, for the sake of this argument, it was. The thing you need would cost 4 or 5 times what you paid me for this. In other words, he bought a dog item, really cheap, but what he needed is something that I would never, ever send the best offer out for, because it's going for 4 or 5 times the price that he paid. I just don't understand how somebody could think they're getting a super in-demand item at a dog price. Another customer on the same item was from overseas with the global shipping program. And I begged him. Even after he made the purchase, I kept the conversation going. I said, you're in the global shipping program. You're going to be paying extra tariffs. Please be sure this is what you need, that you have a 14-inch wheel and not 15-inch. And he was adamant that he purchased the right thing and that he's confident. So I haven't heard anything from him yet. We'll see what happens. Another interesting thing was I had an item that was $72 plus shipping. Now, I have quite a few of these items. I wouldn't consider them dog items, but I would say I'm a bit overstocked. And if I can sell them for $50 plus shipping, I'll be happy to at least thin out some of the items that I have. So I sent out several orders for $50 plus the shipping. I think it had 4 or 5 watches on it. One guy purchased the item, no problem. A second guy sends me a counter offer of $35. Now there's nothing wrong with sending a counter offer, but $35 is just not enough. I have reduced the price from $72 down to $50. I'm not taking $35. So what I said to myself, I said, you know what I'll do? I'll send the customer an offer for $45. He's going to come back and counter $40. It's less than I really want, but I'll go ahead and I'll help the guy out and I'll take it and make a sale for myself at the same time. I send him the counter offer for $45. He comes back with a counter of $36, $1 more. I could see right then and there, negotiation time was over, so I just clicked decline, and that ended the whole thing. The next day he writes to me and says, I've decided to accept the $45 offer, but I cannot find the link to it. I said, you're not going to find the link to it because that offer, my good friend, has expired. So yeah, there are still a lot of people in the Facebook groups that are making serious coin with offers to watchers, and I'm still very optimistic with this feature. It's tough in eBay Motors, all right? It's very tough. But if you really do your homework and you use the verbiage supplied by Teresa that I read earlier, I think you do stand a chance. Heck, I've made a few conversions. Why can't you? Now it's time for my funny story of the week. It's not an eBay story per se, but I think you guys will all love it, or at least like it. So, the other day, a guy came in here to buy some hubs. He needed 4, and I only had 3 in stock at the time. So he purchased the 3, and I said to him, if you really want the 4th one, I know I have one in the warehouse. I can bring it in for you tomorrow if you want to come back and get it. And the guy said, sure, no problem. The only thing unusual about the customer was he's a lot younger than my average customer. He was about 20 years old. And most of my customers here are 35 and up. So the customer left, bought his 3 hubs. He was very happy. He was back the next day for the 4th one. And I had it, and he was happy. And he's looking at me. So the customer says to me, you know, I was looking at you yesterday because you looked really familiar to me. And I was trying to remember where I've seen you before, and I know now where it was. Did you make a video on a long-lost tunnel in Queens, New York, and put it up on YouTube? I said, yep, that was me. It's amazing how he remembered me from that one particular video. And it's not the first time that has happened, where I've been out in public in a venue that's not technically associated with eBay or New York City, and people recognize me from these videos. Several months ago, I went to the swap meet, as I probably told you that. I was with a friend of mine, actually 2 friends of mine. One was hanging back, way in the back, trying to deal with a tradesperson, and my other friend was with me. And we're walking by, looking at the stuff, and there was an older gentleman sitting down, and he said to me, Joe DeMarco, Crazy New York Driver. I know you. I've seen your eBay videos on YouTube. And I was shocked. I said, yeah, what do you think of the videos? He says, yeah, I love them. They're great. Thanks for making them. I find them really helpful. So my point here is, guys, I just wanted to share with you that sometimes I'm in public and I'm actually recognized as Crazy New York Driver. So yeah, I'm not going to keep you long right now because it's already getting dark. It's been a very cold, cloudy, rainy week. I'm inside right now, so I have no complaints. It's actually not raining right now, but it is cloudy. So I really got to get moving. I got to get this thing edited and ready. So, that being said, guys, I'm going to bring this video to a close right now. Remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the Crazy New York Driver Show. If you found the video helpful, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated it. If you don't think I did a good job, please tell me in the comments section what you want me to cover next week and I'll be glad to do it. Remember, I'm a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I've solved a lot of problems. I'm still making money online. I've never worn a mask and never will. I don't speed up my voice. I come out here and I face you one-on-one with what I feel is credible eBay information. You will always get straight talk from me, and I think you know it. I am a CEO and a CFO of my own company. So guys, go out there, make a ton of money on eBay, rock on, and peace! Sales this week were good, no complaints whatsoever. I had no cancellations this week, which is why you didn't see the cancellation corner. I did have some returns. How many did I have this week? 2 or 3, all cheap items once again, as usual. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to leave you with the 3 words heard round the world. Those 3 words are, don't be fitchy! I love it! See you guys next week, right here on the Crazy New York Driver Show. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I forgot to warn you about something. I always warn you when there's a holiday coming up. I better warn you right now. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. That's gonna hurt, and that's gonna hurt badly. Okay? I'm warning everybody right now. Thanksgiving is a day when you can expect to make no eBay sales. In my opinion, that is the worst sales day of the year. Worse than Christmas. Worse, okay? It is my most dreaded day of the year, Thanksgiving. Those of you guys who have been with me a long time know my 2 most disliked days of the year are back to back, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. I've always been in retail. Ever since I was a kid, since I was 16, I'm sure a lot of your friends are shooting their mouth off how they have a long weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But since I was 16 years old, I have never had a Black Friday off in my life. Never once, because I've always been in some kind of a retail job. So having those 2 bummer days in a row, Thanksgiving and Black Friday, are enough to drive anybody to drink, if I may use an expression. So yeah, I'm just warning you. Don't expect too many sales on those 2 days, okay? But it will get better after that. But anyway, I will see you guys next Friday, Black Friday, right here on the Crazy New York Driver Show. I already told you not to be fitchy, and none of you guys would be that way anyway. But I'm always going to remind you on this show for the rest of my natural life. Thanks. See you next week.